Hello friends, welcome to my channel Tech Samvad. Here we talk about the technology and today's topic is switchboard security. Before going into deep dive about the security, first we understand the switch. What is switch? Switch is a multi-port device. It is used to connect devices into LAN. It works on data link layer or layer 2 of the OSI model. It understands the MAC address and it builds the MAC address table and forwards the frames according to the MAC address table. How switch builds the MAC address? When any frame come to the switch port, it learns the source MAC address and add the entry in its MAC address table. Then it checks the destination MAC address. If the destination MAC address is available in its MAC address table, it take out the frame from the respective port. If the MAC address is not available into the MAC address table, the switch will forward the frame all the available ports that is not in this MAC address table, and this is called flooding. Flooding is different from the broadcast. Broadcast means send out the data frame out of all the port except the receiving one. But in a flooding, we are sending the traffic only those port on which switch does not know about. Let's talk why switch port security is needed. Because by default, the switch nature is trusting. It means if, just take an example, if you leave your desk and a stranger plugs their laptop into your Ethernet cable, the switch will simply learn their MAC address and grant them full network access. This is a huge security risk. So, the switch port security allows us to restrict input to a port by limiting the MAC address allowed to communicate through it. How it works? You define the secure MAC address to each port. The switch examines the source MAC address of every incoming frame. If the MAC address does not match your allowed list, the switch triggers a violation action. What are the violation actions? There are three violation actions: protect, restrict, and shutdown. Protect drops unauthorized traffic but keeps the port up. No logs are created. Restrict drops the traffic and creates a log entry while incrementing a violation counter. How many times a hacker or the attacker tries to connect your port. And shut down. This is a more secure way. It immediately puts the port into error disable state. The port stays down until an admin manually restarts it. Let's talk about the secure MAC address types. So there are three types: static, dynamic, and sticky. Static. You manually type the MAC address for the port. Dynamic. The switch learns the MAC address, but it clears if the switch reboots. Sticky. This is the best both of the options. The switch learns the MAC automatically and save it to the configuration, and this is lifesaver for the large networks. What is the benefit or what are the benefit of the port security? It prevents MAC flooding. Stop hackers from overwhelming the MAC table to turn switch into hub or sniffing the data. Block the unauthorized access. As we discussed, only company approved PC can connect into the network. Instant threat response. If you set the violation mode shutdown, when an unauthorized person tried to connect into the network, the switchboard will shut down. After understanding the theory or the concept of switchboard security, let's discuss about the configuration command. So as you know that the switch that we can configure through the command lines, and here is the command. The first, you will select the port. On which port do you want to configure the security? There is a two option. Either you can select the one port or you can take the range. If you put just interface and the interface name, so it will work on one port. If if you put the interface range, and you can provide the range. Then the next command is switch port mode access. Here you are creating a access port. Access port is a port where end devices connect. Then switch port security. This is a command to enable the port security. If you want to disable it, so what you will do, no switch port security. Switch port security maximum. Then here you put the a number. A number, how many MAC address do you want to register on the each port? If you put the 2, so the switch will learn 2 MAC address on per port. Switch port security MAC address. Here you can either put the static MAC address or you can put the sticky. As you know that sticky switch will learn the MAC address and make it static. Switch port security violation. Shutdown, protect and stick. And you know about them. Let's come to the practical. So we have taken the one case that there is a device connect with the interface FG/3 and we wanted to make it the static entry on that port. If somebody tried to connect on this port, so the port will shut down. This is the violation. So first you check the MAC address table of switch by typing the command MAC address table. So MAC address table. So you find that there is a one MAC address associated on the port FG/through. You can just take a copy of this MAC address. Then you select the interface, convert into access port, enable the port security, and assign the MAC address statically, and set the violation mode shutdown, and WR save the configuration. Now verify the MAC address table. Now you will find the entry on port F03 is static. So this is a Cisco Packet Tracer, and the switch, you come to the command line of the switch, enable show MAC address table. So at present the switch is only know about the one MAC address that is associated on its FA0/1. So what we do here, we make a communication between other devices. So the switch will know about all the MAC addresses. So we make a communication between these two devices. The packet or the frame come to the switch. Now switch will have an idea about the second MAC address. Okay, also the third one as well. Now we will try to make communication between these two devices. Right. And also we will make communication between router and the one device. Okay, there is no configuration, so that's why it is get failed. We will discuss about it later. So MAC address table, it has only one entry. Now again we will make communication between them. Okay, so now the switch know about the FA0/3. So to make it static, first we copy it, config T, interface F0/3, switch port mode access, switch port security, switch port security, MAC address, and switch port security violation shutdown, and WR so MAC address table. So you will find that the MAC address associated on FA0/3 is static and the violation is shutdown. So if you want to verify the port security, so the command is show port security F4/3 interface. So you will find that port security is enabled, port status is secure up, and the violation mode is set to shutdown. And currently there is no last non-MAC address, and violation count is also 0. Now this is the unauthorized person. Come here, detach the cable from this PC and attach the cable from the same port to his device. Now this drive tried to communicate with a device in a network. So we'll find the packet got rejected and the link goes down. If we see the security on interface F0/3, so the command is show port security interface F0/3. So you will find that the security is enabled and the state is secure shutdown, and violation count is 1. And who did this violation? This is the MAC address of that device. If you want to verify it, so keep remember last 4 digit 07V3, come to this PC, go to the command line, and ipconfig/all is a command to check the IP and MAC address of device. So you'll find this is the MAC address of that device. If you remove the cable from this device and put it again into the authorized computer, you will find that the link is still down. Why? Because the port is in secure shutdown state. So to make it enable, config T, select the interface. First you shut down it. Then type the command no shut. So now it will make a port up. Okay, let's come to the next part. Here we wanted to set the security on the multiple ports. So we have taken the port from 2 to 24, enable the port security, then set the maximum one. That means only the one MAC address will register on each port. Then the MAC address is sticky. That means whatever the MAC address comes first onto the port, it will be static. And the violation is strict. So unlike the shutdown, the port remain up for the authorized users. So let's do it practically. Open the command line for the switch. Config T, interface range, F4/2 say 24, switch port mode access, switch port security, switch port security maximum 1, switch port security MAC address sticky, switch port security violation restrict, and WR. We see the MAC address table. So MAC address table. Okay, there's only one entry on the port F4/1 that is dynamic, and this is port is out of our this range. Okay, so we first make communication between all these devices. So switch will learn the MAC address and build the MAC address table and put all the MAC address statically. Make the communication between them too. Then between them. Now we will check the MAC address table again. Okay, so you will find all the entries are static except the FA/01 that is not in our range. Okay, so let's do the practical. If this device try to connect on that port, so what will happen? So the unauthorized person detach the cable and connect his device on the same port. Now this device tried to make communication in the LAN. So what will happen? Let's see. Oh, it is unable to make communication. But the port is still up because we set the violation mode is restrict. The unauthorized person is not allowed to make communication, but the port remain up for the authorized user. Let's verify it. Detach the cable from here and attach to the authorized person. Okay, the link is up, and when it tried to make communication, yeah, it's working. So that's it for today. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to Tech Samvad. It's secure, and I will see you in the next video.